Good morning, everybody. I welcome you to this ICR Day program. Today happens to be 21st July, which is the 140th birth anniversary of Dr. L.D. Dhawale. Today also happens to be Guru Purnima, which is the 97th birth anniversary of M.L. Dhawale. So this is a rare occasion when a lot of these dates are coinciding. And so we will begin today's program with the lighting of the lamp and the garlanding of the portraits. I will ask today's speakers, Dr. Latha and Dr. Sunil, to come up and do the needful. I think one of the major aspects of this ICR Day has been the extraordinary publicity that Tamanna has launched. And this was one of the major aspects which she discovered. And it is a coincidence that it was sent to me on the 14th of July, last Sunday. And she was planning to use it later. I said, no, this is the right music to circulate on that day. And I wish to read out her experience, which is relevant to the day that we are celebrating. After I told her that circulate it today, she writes, just wanted to share the experience of this creation. It was neither planned nor envisioned in the form that it has taken. It just happened and, if anything, made itself. I was working on Sunil sir's video and had already clipped the recording into the desired number of pieces. A wandering thought picked up from the mention of Guru Purnima in his script and made me look for music. It was not the stage at which music is usually sought, for that usually comes at the end to suit the visuals. Then out of nowhere, a copyright-free piece showed up right on top of the search, something that does not easily happen, and one has to really look for good copyright for pieces. I easily found a brilliant audio extractor and soon had it downloaded. So the music was in place, still in Sunil sir's file. I still thought I was using it for the same, perhaps as an opening page. Salutation graphics were designed without fuss, and the lamp lighting another part of the logo automatically followed as the only appropriate one. The flames asked to be lighted, and a new technique effortlessly sparked in the mind. Only once the page was ready, it dawned that this could not be touched by a human voice and should be separated from. The flames moved with the music and other details got added in the subsequent pages. The pages were calibrated to the music, usually is the other way around, since the content dominates. And all I wanted to do was to keep looking at it, listening to it over and over. It is something within and felt like a sigh, one that infused breath into the being, dissolved pain, slowed down chaos, urged to stop and be, to breathe and let breathe. Language is handicapped for words sometimes to dilute the experience. I slept in a trance. When I listened to it again in the morning, it was at once grounding and almost surreal. It dawns on me that this experience was a blessing. As we take the step to reinvent ourselves, may Guru Purnima this year be the start of the 50th anniversary of the ICR and lead to a resounding revival of the training. I think when a lot of issues are in sync, then the spirit of Guru Purnima, it dominates us and we are able to perform as per the wishes of the Guru. And since now we have the fourth Guru in the form of Tiwari sir, it was the right thing to formulate a program which encompasses the very essence of the training which NLT sir was deeply involved in. And again, as we mentioned, as Tamanna has mentioned, it was in the fitness of things that Latha's present was born. Latha has been with us since close to maybe 35 years. I remember having made her case record in 1989 at Chembur. Her parents were involved with MLD sir much before that. And I think all of us who have visited Bangalore for the numerous workshops have really partake the culinary skills of her mother. Her idli and her rasam are something to die for. Her father has been a homeopathic votary. And I think you'll be surprised to know that Latha took admission in CMP in spite of being qualified to enter the MBBS course. It was her father who insisted that she learn homeopathy and qualify in it. After going to Bangalore, after marriage, I personally thought that Latha was practically lost. But some things rejuvenate, like the phoenix. And not only has Latha rejuvenated, but rejuvenated the institution at Bangalore. Here is a process which, as most of you know, is a tough process. The participants, the candidates, they submit their cases. Cases are reviewed. They submit a self-evaluation report. They appear for exam in which a long case and a short case qualifies. And at the end, there is a viva. And the viva is meant to understand what are the issues which the learner faces and how he or she can be helped in the process of acquiring professional competence. And over a period of time, it was not so in MLD Sir's time, but subsequently, we have found that instituting a further mechanism in the form of a submission or a dissertation is useful because it helps to tie up things which have been present. One of the prominent issues that was identified was the aspect of hypersensitivity. And hypersensitivity through her case submissions as well as through her exams, it showed in both the lights. It was something that was very, very strong. It helped her to see the totality. It also helped her to, or allowed her to deviate from the totality. So, Dr. Fansalkar sir, with his acumen, he recommended that let us try to help Latha to explore the hypersensitivity. And so therefore the subject of the dissertation was hypersensitivity, an asset or a liability in the metamorphosis of a homeopathic physician. And fortunately or unfortunately, Mihir sir and I were selected by the examiner board to guide her in the process. And as Latha will vouch, both of us formed a mutually harassment society. And Latha got involved in it, and through a number of gives and takes to and fro, where I finally stepped in because I told Mihir that no, don't go to metamorphosis of the Kafka origin. That is something that we don't want her to go through. And if you recall, Franz Kafka, who's again, I think, 100th anniversary we are celebrating this year, Franz Kafka wrote a seminal short story called The Metamorphosis. In that, the hero wakes up one morning to become. So we didn't want Latha to go through that process. We said that what she has achieved is something that is remarkable. Both of us have benefited and have learned from her dissertation. And so we thought that with Latha's dissertation, we must also join up Sunil sir's presentation, because Sunil sir has been involved in the MICR training process right from the time that he has qualified. And so his experience of the entire way in which it has been structured and in what way we are trying to revive Hahnemannian teachings in the MICR process is something that he can help us to understand. So with these few words, let me request Latha to come and commence her presentation.
Good morning and namaskaram to everybody. By the time the PPT gets ready, just a 2-minute, 30-second reflection within, salutations to our Guru, to our masters, to our parents, to our forefathers, the lineage from where we come, and to all the people who have inspired us in this journey to become better humans and better physicians. I request all of you to say a prayer because this is going to be an inward journey. I'm going to be sharing with you about two of my friends, sensitivity and sensibility. So while I'm born with one, the other one got evolved with time. So what we're going to cover is how sensitivity is going to impact our clinical work and its impact on doctor-patient relationship. What are the processes we can use to refine it, and which processes will allow us to evolve sensibility. So the first part of the presentation is going to cover the sensitivity in clinical work, its types, its impact, and its significance for us, especially in outcomes of doctor-patient relationship. Let me begin with an interesting case study. A patient 15 years older to me came when I was just married and moved out. And he started weeping profusely because he had lost his father. I felt the pain so intensely that I was also weeping. And normally with weeping and grief, I didn't even know what exactly his complaints were. I thought it's just grief. I gave Ignatia, Natramur, no response, patient dropped out. What do you think would have happened to the physician? Can totality be perceived if we get into these patients' world in this particular manner? Is sensitivity an asset over here? Let me share another example. This boy, very close friend of ours, son, he comes with a spinal injury, a professional tennis player, lives his life for tennis. And what happens is he has to give up everything. And in the failure, he's depressed, sad, and the PP is just dealing with his failure and saying, oh my God, now what will happen to him ahead? She gives remedies for ailments from injury with combination of failure and depression. Tries Ignatia, little bit goes to Symphytum, no response. What allowed this mental state in PP to deal with failures in this particular manner? Has it been resolved? Do you think the PP is better evolved at this point in time? We go to the next case. This was a case of a girl when she came with an old man, and she had no hesitation in telling me she's married, her husband is away, and she's in relationship with this old. She's having severe dysfunctional uterine bleeding, and the PP was just for some time stunned and shocked. What is she trying to tell me? And then in no time, I have already formed my PD and PR. I've told her the entire cause of your problem is this immoral relationship. And then I went on to tell her that you better leave this, otherwise you're not going to get better. And then I tried some remedies. Patient did not come. I don't think she felt comfortable with me at all. PP becomes so moral, becoming like a moral policeman in this case. How do you think hypersensitivity is evolving? What model of man does PP evolve in her head? and what will it take for this PP to become a friend, philosopher, and guide? So that brings us to a very interesting question. Who are hypersensitive individuals? Let me just share with you while all of us know about them, it's interesting to know this too. They are neurodivergent individuals who have an increased or deeper central nervous system activity to stimuluses in physical, emotion, social or sensory level, and they respond in an extreme behavior or emotional reaction to events that otherwise seem normal to a lot of people. Will this impact doctor-patient relationship? All of us know them. They can be very sensitive to violence, have vivid imagination, appreciate beauty. They're so intuitive, perceptive. But do you know how many types of them exist, and how is it going to make a difference to knowing that? So I was in during the works that I was doing, I figured out that there was a very interesting article written by a researcher, Elaine, on highly sensitive people. And she had devised a scale for assessing them. And the neuropsychologist, Kathy, used this scale to further classify these types of sensitivity. In that, what she did was she classified them in 3 types. First was the ones who have ease of excitation, in our language, what we call super feelers. They can have a strong reaction to things, especially emotions. The second are the low sensory threshold individuals who are highly aware of sensory sensations, and we call them the super sensors. And the third type are the aesthetic personalities whom we all are aware of, high fine-tunement to art, sensitivity, nature. Let me start with a case example for super feeler. This was a lady, I just got, again, all this is my initial part when I just got married and gone. And she was a lady staying in the same lane. A 37-year-old lady comes down with sudden onset of diabetes. I found her sensitive. I took the case. Sensitive, suppressed, and fostering a lot of hurt. But what the most was her most painful part before the onset of diabetes. Her only son goes abroad for studying and decides to stay there. And she's in so much grief because she can't go there. And she wants him back. And PP, what did PP do with this? She tried Ignatia, Natramur, causticum little bit, probably all the remedies available for grief and little bit correlated with diabetes. What do you think impacted the physician and the outcome? Her deep empathy and connection to the patient's pain. My own trauma of separating from a family. In fact, I even blamed them for moving me out of Bombay and pushing me into Bangalore. And then the patient's own vulnerability that mirrored the PP's issue and kept the pain alive. Do you think this kind of mental state will allow the right formation of totality? Finally, how do you think this case resolved? Fortunately for us in Bangalore, we were blessed with group sessions from 1990. This case had SKP, sir. Thank you, sir, as a supervisor. The group and the supervisor helped us to understand what were the blocks of this PP and how it was affecting the perceiving of this patient. The group and the supervisor evolved from the code, the evolution of sensitivity, the responsibility, attachment of this individual, and the sudden onset of diabetes. And suddenly a whole new totality of acid force emerged, as well as there was an emotional catharsis for a physician who had blocked her emotions of separation, anxiety, and trauma for a long time. Patient healed in no time. The medicine also worked as an internal healer because now she adopted many children for her Carnatic music classes, and she also went to teach in a government school. So the type 2 personalities are the super sensors, which I will deal with the case later on, but let me just explain to you about them. They're highly observant, excellent at detailing, highly aware, intuitive, very strong reactions to smell, sounds, other sensory stimulus, can never and always, that is going to give a lot of trouble to them, make them depressed and disappointed. While all this sounds very exotic, to have all these wonderful qualities, do you think it's going to help a physician? Will it cloud her more strongly or projecting herself onto others? Let's see. The third type of personalities are the aesthetic personalities, whom we all love because we all want to create a trait of receptivity to art, music, and connection to nature. A very interesting case of a girl who came with PCOD and dysthymia. She was an artist. No amount of case taking was allowing us to go beyond a feeling of forsaken. She was not willing to go forward with expression, state, nothing. So we thought we could use another medium to make her open up, and we used art as a medium. And what happened was, slowly, she figured out the intense amount of anger she had against the mother, whom she called as a whip, who uses the family as baiters, which are those carrots drawn over there. And she's going to ensure that she controls us. We are nothing short of animal baiters for her desire. The resolution 2 happened with drawings, a series of drawings which started from burying your head in the sand as an ostrich to eventually understand that my mother is the petal that holds our family together. Without the thread, the flower will not exist. And she also spoke about the father being a gem sitting awkwardly because he is awkward. But he's very sensitive to her and he praises her. So all of us can use art as a medium to channelize our own sensitivity. Let's hope we pick up the hobby soon, any hobby. And then we can use these kind of drawings and analogy to help patients reflect better. So what do you find was an increased sensitivity of a working physician in two areas, professional competence and doctor-patient relationship. What it does, while it helps us receive the pain, it disrupts both our understanding and biases in moral, general, socio-economic issues. We can either over-empathize or reject patients. And definitely it's going to distort our clinical diagnosis, person diagnosis, totality, remedial and non-remedial management. So I'm just going to take a small breather here, take a pause, and let my heart speak of what I have shared to you up to now.
Ouch!
That brings us to the next question and topic that we need to heal and understand. Can we explore and find processes to refine sensitivity? The ICR methodology, of which I have been using in the last 30 years, some of the tools that have helped refine this sensitivity were the clinical session evaluation form, the transaction analysis, the group discussions, and the TFCAR. We will explore each of this through case studies. Let me begin with the first case of 46-year-old lady. She came in smiling, chirping, talking. Everything was so positive when she entered because she was praising us. And who doesn't want a praise, right? So she kept making us feel good. and said, "You're God to me. You cured my son of wheezing. You please make me all right. I'm suffering from all these problems. I'm having all this bleeding problem, etc." But very sadly, she says, "I'm now working as a nursery teacher." But she continued. She said, "My husband and I have separated. He's in a relationship with somebody else. And we are waiting for our son to finish his 12th grade to divorce. But I've started working. I don't have to pay rent. 15,000 is enough for my survival. But please help me, doc. Please help me with my dysmenorrhea." She had endometrial polyps. She had hemorrhagic cyst, which was causing bleeding and dysmenorrhea. What do you think the physician would have done? She felt so sad for her. She knew 15 years back itself that this husband of hers was acting like one male chauvinist thing, taking control of everything, not letting her talk. And then also I used to feel, why doesn't she work and develop little more self-respect? But I did not tell her, fortunately, at that time. And then I gave her phosphorus because this was the most positive, happy, in spite of all the problems. She is still smiling. Did phosphorus help? No. She hardly got better. And the observer who was with me, thankfully, are trained to talk what they want. They are able to share their feelings. "Ma'am, she's hardly getting better. She's so irritating. I don't know what is it that you're getting so impressed by. Why are you not insisting on the form for her? Why are you continuing the same medicine in the last 3 months? Something is terribly wrong. I don't think she's a phosphorus." And then PP was, "Oh my God, patient not responding. What are you going to justify, right? After all, remedy response is the first thing we need." So the first thing the PP did was pause. And the reflection tool that she used was the CSCF. She realized that she was very carried away with a friend that she had long missed. And she was so happy with all the positivities. But the other point was the manner in which she reacted to the purpose of working. The physician herself has seen her mother struggle through identity crisis of being a career woman to gain respect and financial independence. And very long on, I had decided that my purpose for working is to get self-respect and financial independence. And according to me, every lady should work for the same thing. Do you think this purpose is going to last the test of time? Do you think it's not going to be challenged with time and ever-changing world? What happened in the healing process when this awareness dawned, she realized the case has to be retaken. And what emerged was a lady who was extremely talkative, suspicious about her husband, because he was, according to her, having a long-distance affair with a co-sister who's thousands of miles away on a WhatsApp group. And then she also had intense anger against him in the last 3 years because he has chosen to go to his parents' house during COVID and look after them. And he wanted her to move too, but she didn't want to go. So lachesis in millisimal potency helped her resolve the case, and we were able to show results in the polyps as well as the other hemorrhagic cyst with millisimal frequency in frequent doses. What also happened was the patient was also able to understand her own sensitivities and anger suppressions, and she decided to heal back with her husband, and today they are comfortable. So we found out how the internal observer can be awakened in this healing journey. The processes that were used were the CSCF, an extremely vigilant, alert observer externally who was willing to awaken the internal observer in the physician, and the outcomes were there for you to see. Going ahead, we shall understand how the transaction analysis record helps us. It's very interesting to share here. This young physician whose record I'm going to be shared has been trained in listening skills by Manoj sir, Vipin sir, and Sunil sir. And what she does is she is able to connect with her super sensory feeling in a much better way. The case that highlighted this was there was a 39-year-old male director of a software company, comes with headache, dysthymia, and anxiety, and he has challenges in team communication. And presently, the COVID crisis has hit him deeply because the entire workload has come on him. What does he write in his form? I ignore problems. I don't like getting involved in finding solutions. I don't have close friends. I'm not close to my parents either. And it's more transactional equation with them. Do you think this young physician is going to take the case of a senior CEO? And how do you think she's going to open this case? The first question the physician did was take the chief complaints and other things, and then in a soft, gentle tone, connecting deeply with eye contact with the patient, asked him in a soft tone, can you share about your childhood? And what outpoured was an intense trauma of a grandmother who was body shaming him, moral policing him, and putting him down for his academic performance. There was also his mother violently hitting him for studies, and he had to top. So much so that he decided not to keep in touch and just a hi and bye is adequate. This was the entire record that evolved. Patient further shared, I'm reserved. I don't like to share my opinions. I keep my anger and hurt within. Till date, I have not opened to anybody. Observer was stunned. I didn't expect this to come out like this in this intensity. And she was irritated also. A 39-year-old man is crying about something that has happened in his childhood. What's wrong with him? And for the PP, it was, how can anybody's mother be so cruel that they can torture a child? For her, he remained a child. Do you think this physician will evolve further? The physician's sensitivity was able to create a space for the patient. Physician comes from a very nurturing family where she has never witnessed violence. Can she feel the pain? Can she go further in resolution of protecting this child patient that she has seen? Supervisor decided to share with this team her own journey before taking this case forward. Because now they were stuck that they just need to find the right remedy and that's it. And they believe that he deserves to be in pain because that's what the mother has done to him. So the supervisor went ahead and shared with this physician her own traumas and struggles with the maternal aggression and told her it's really important to understand the biopsychosocial models from where our parents come from, and it requires a number of evaluations within. And I also had taken support of other programs like Landmark and TA, and I found that engaging with a group learning allows us to heal these baggages faster. And I told the physician, let's take this case to the group and the consultant who's visiting, and let's see what unfolds for us. The case was made ready. The visiting consultant allowed everybody to share their feeling state. Naturally, everybody felt traumatized by the mother, but there were a few who were also able to understand her. So the group dynamics allowed the physician in what I call is a transformative learning journey. The Mezirow's transformating learning theory, and what it shares is that as children, we just imbibe everything. We hardly question anything. But as adults, if we are questioned, then what happens is we are able to question our beliefs, our attitudes, our emotions, our thoughts, and it will always help us to become better. So this is exactly the Mezirow's transformative learning theory of confronting ourselves through discussions that I found applicable in the ICR methodology. And the role of the consultant was to ensure that we engage with the circumstance, bring awareness to our blind spots, and expand ourselves and become better healers. The group also played their part in sharing with the physician what could possibly be the mother's evolution and her own biopsychosocial status coming from an extreme poor background where academic is the only solace for survival to earn money. This made the PP wiser, and what she did was she carried this learning forward to the case, and she became a healer for the patient, him go through the core healing process as well as the remedy natrum silicata, ensure the patient is cured in 6 months' time. So we found out how the group learning dynamics ensures a therapeutic way of healing. Let us go forward with some more cases. This is the case of a young girl who carries an atlas on her shoulder. This was the parents had come to collect the form, and the father was so, please give me the form. My daughter has no time. She has to study for IAS. She's in 12th grade. And the mother said, what he's telling is correct. We don't have time for her. You need to give us quick appointment, quick case receiving, and finish this case. We just looked at her and gave the form. I said, God bless, and sent him. And then after that came, the young physician took the case. Sometimes we feel the patients come to only teach us, God knows how. But this patient landed with this physician, and she was so upset with the intense parental pressure that was being put on this child right from her 3 years of age. And the illness was nothing short of the competition and stress she was undergoing. And her own desire was to pursue something in medical studies. And the father was not willing to listen anything more than IAS and the impact on the PNE system. How do you think the super feeler physician would have handled? She decided that this patient is my child, I have to protect her, and she fired the father. How dare you do this to this patient? And what happened? The father gave it back in equal measure to the physician. He said, it's none of your business, mind your own work, give her the medicine and make her all right. You have no business to interfere whether she becomes an IAS officer or otherwise. It's my choice. Naturally, physician had to become silent because she didn't expect him to retort that way. So then I said, okay, now what to do with her and this case? Let's go back to the group and see what happens, because sometimes one-on-one interactions doesn't actually resolve as much as a group sessions evolve. So then we first told her, you write your CSCF and find out what's hitting you the most in this case. I don't like the way she's being burdened. I did not do this. When I wanted to become a doctor, I come from a village and my father said, do something simple, get married soon. And I fought with them and I did medicine. So why can't she do it, ma'am? I said, okay, let's see what happens. I kept quiet. In the group, they started sharing on what could be the possible reasons for the father's behavior, who comes from a small town, who has seen a number of his friends becoming IAS officer, and it was the only means for an auto driver to look up to respect, money, position, and that red light car. And the physician figured out that okay, I think I need to not find other ways. The group also empowered this physician to understand her own hidden aggression and sensitivity. And there was one more area the physician shared. Ma'am, I saw an intense anxiety in her and her fear. I have lost my 2 close relatives who have suppressed like her, who have, gone through cancer and died because of suppressing. I feel she's also going to go through something like this. So I want to protect her. She became aware of the second sensitivity after the father. And then the transformation happened and the young PP realized the best way to deal with this case is to let the patient empower herself. The remedy was given casinosin, and it played an internal role with the deep connect of the physician and the support the physician gave in silence to let this patient fight this battle on her own. She was able to speak to her father. Fortunately, COVID came, medical sciences got better recognition, and the father was sure that she will also do something big in medical. She's joined the pharmacy industry and cured of her subclinical hypothyroidism. The next case is about a burdened woman. This physician got a lady who is almost similar to her age, and she comes with this severe problem of heavy bleeding. And she's crying to the PP, I have to do so much of work. I have to take care of my in-laws. I have to cook in the kitchen. And my husband is not supporting me. And the physician lost it. She didn't say, luckily, anything to the patient. She's coming, ma'am, what is she sitting and crying for? All of us are doing, no? All of us are taking care of home, work, going here, going there, looking after in-laws. Whose husband supports? What is she sitting and crying, irritating, anxious lady? Give her Kali cup. Don't have to do any totality. Okay, we gave Kali cup because I said, okay, what to do? Give. It did not work. Then I said, let's just call the husband and find out where the problem is. I think we are just stuck with this totality. Let's just see what happens. And in came the husband and shocked all of us. Oh my God, what is she dealing with? Is something like this. No wonder she's sobbing, crying, because he was so aggressive. He was much more aggressive than the patient. He says, such a useless lady all the time crying does nothing. And what is she up to? I don't think she has any bleeding problem and all. Simply she's faking it over here. That really shocked us. I said, oh my God, we should have called him earlier and we would have had better sense of the totality. The case was taken for group discussion, and the consultant allowed everybody to share their feeling states, and every observer were identifying their own patterns of thinking, feeling, and behavior when they see a woman suffering like this. And what the physician got present to, coming from a small town, she had always had to fight for discrimination against girls, and survival of the fittest is her purpose. So if she works hard, she does well in all areas, she's going to be the survivor in her family and she's going to get what she wants. And the remedy, and when the discussions happened, the group was able to now define the core attribute, state, expression, evolution of a very sensitive lady who's different from the physician. She doesn't give back. She's all the time grieving in the death of her son 6 years back. She's all the time stuck in this world of her family cares and worries. And she's anxious, but more than that, it is her cares and worries for her family without any reactive pattern outside. And the characteristic LSMC that Bipin sir keeps telling, don't forget, menses better by sitting. She would sit and cook her food, cook in the kitchen. Cocculus was the only remedy listed. And the patient responded to cocculus. What next happened was physician used the TFCAR model to empower the patient. She only struck at one point, that is the purpose. She said, your strength is cares and worries. You focus on this purpose now and look beyond your family and see if you can take up something, because it will give you a better centering of your complaints. And what happened was, by then that physician and patient had found a bond which was very, very acutely sensitive and interactive. So the patient listened to this physician. And she changed her purpose. She started taking tuitions. She was an MSc Physics. She started taking tuitions, both in the colony as well as helping the weaker sections outside. That made her less complaining. And we also took the husband's case, the same physician, and To a large extent, we stabilized that relationship. So I'll again take a pause here so that my heart can smile while you'll see a better smiling heart now. So with this new love story evolving between sensitivity and sensibility, let's see how this couple evolves other complexities and become better physicians in integrated interventions. So this is the case of a junior female physician who runs her own practice, gets a frequent visitor to her house, a young male of 32 having strained relationship with the wife. PP was in sympathy with his sad story that he really has one terrible wife and that's why he's suffering. And the treatment of psoriasis never responded. In a dilemma where she did not know what to do with this couple because they used to come right inside her house, start shouting, fighting, bring the children in front of her children, all the things were going on. She came in a state of helplessness to the consultant and asked, something is going wrong. I think there's something missing here. Can you help me? The first thing the consultant told her was, I think he's seeing you beyond a physician. First, stop these visits and let's take a pause and go further. Supervisor first started by reassuring this physician, do not worry. All of us go through this. It's not you. I have had number of husbands visiting me in my earlier days of practice because they used to find it nice to talk to me. And wives don't talk nicely at home, do they? And then what happens? Experienced similar challenges. So let's find ways how to resolve this. So don't panic. There are processes that I have adopted, you can adopt too. The first was, have you taken the history from this patient? She said, no. Okay, make him write. Let's see what happens. A 28-page history comes, and the physician is shocked to see the intensity of pain, suffering, sensitivity to injustice. And they said, let's start this journey. The second part was, after defining the PDPR IP, the physician focused on the life space table, core, attribute, event, attribute, state, expression. Let me just evolve this properly. Up to now, I've only taken feeling state and given attrib. Let me go through this process and see what happens. The clinical session evaluation form made her realize what she's dealing is only the tip of an iceberg. The physician engages in the methodology, the case is processed, and the core totality, which moves from suppressed anger to a state of sensitivity, sensitive to injustice, with trembling anger. It moved the patient's totality from natrum to staff. The wife's case was defined, lag canine, and the couple were asked to relate to each other's strengths, and medicines played a very important role. But this was only one part of the journey. Let's see what happens next. So, when the case was taken to the second part of group learning process, PP got present to many biopsychosocial experiences. She understood what it takes to expand herself and what it will take for her to move from just the process to become a family physician. The role of the consultant physician was to make PP aware of why she's not able to put the processes in her clinic, what is she fearing, and he also encouraged the silent supervisor who's very happy to talk in the clinic and not beyond her clinic. And in sessions, she remained silent behind the consultants. Did her journey complete? Did the supervisor even go beyond becoming a guide in the clinic to evolve beyond the group sessions that happen? Well, in the group session, she's happy to be silent because the consultants talk. So what allowed the journey, the second part of the journey, while the physician got healed and became a family physician, everything became fine. But there is a supervisor there also, right, who needs to evolve. She is just stuck in that role of me, my two observers, and deal with this, bring the case to session, let the consultants handle it. The second part of this journey was when a tsunami struck her during COVID. The supervisor faced immense problems in personal area, family area, and dealing with the number of COVID patients and the anxiety and fear of losing them and losing some of her near ones, and the intense confrontation from her own family that completely rocked her boat. And the tsunami was not something she had expected. And what happened? What process do you think the supervisor might have adopted to bring a better healing within? So while I would like to share, people like us work from our heart. So when Bombay started the MICR process, I had made a promise to Prakash sir and NLT sir. And NLT sir's passing away was a very profound loss. And it was always in my mind, I have to do this for him. I have to do this for him. But the process is so complex that it doesn't let you work from the heart. And I was feeling, oh my God, what on earth do these people do? They have nothing else to do. There are days I've told my husband, there's something wrong with them. Are they thinking they're from Harvard, some professor sitting there? Who's going to give them a Harvard certificate? What is it that they're doing to us? Right, this case, that case, do this, do that. And I said, okay, let me just... No option, right? I have to do it because I've promised to somebody. Let me take on and see what happens. While the journey started, I was mechanically filling all the forms. And now they added 2 more, case concept and case concept exposition. I was so relieved there's one operation manual there at least. And then I said, okay, I'm finishing all my cases and giving. That did not solve the problem. The day I took this case to an unknown group and realized I had to stand as a consultant and face an unknown group, an unknown challenge, I realized where my block was. I can't take life's challenges if they come suddenly without telling me. And life doesn't operate that way. And then I realized that, let me recoin the word for this MICR, and I put it in my bedroom and study table. Mindful, inward, creative, connective, conscious intellect. So I put it mindful, inward, conscious intellect, MICR. I said, let me process this carefully and begin this journey now. The shift happened when I took it inward. And what I realized was, the group taught me. It was it was a symposium group as well as the MICR study group. They made me wiser. They made me better receptive. They made me adapt to challenges that life throws. Because when I can guide myself, I can guide others, and I can guide anybody. I can mentor self, and I can mentor many. I can have an internal chattering that is to a large extent controlled, but not dying down. What I was seeking was the dying down of the internal chattering and an alertness and awareness to our actions and constantly paying attention to my purpose when this silence sets in. And this beautiful journey of working through cases, and many of these cases I had written in my dissertation. I remember Mihir Sir, Kumar Sir saying, what is it about you that you're writing over there? What is it that you are feeling and learning? And that process of writing the dissertation completed the inner chattering. And when that inner chattering dies for all of us, no, when we stop worrying, when this kid will get married, when will this kid write her exams, when will that one get, what is going to happen to my husband post-retirement, all that stops. Because now you know that life takes care of itself. There is an universal consciousness that will take care of everything. Just let your heart speak. And what it gives you is expand your purpose and see what happens to you. You will become so much more calmer and wiser. And this was my feeling state, which I want to represent through this video. And the song is beautiful. It's written by ABBA. I have a dream, a song to sing. Well, I don't even know if I've reached what Sir was saying, the butterfly, but I love the butterfly. I have a long way to go. The journey has just begun, and I really want to take this opportunity that all of us need to listen to our heart and yet evolve sensibility. And in this silence, everything will get clear to you. The time for gratitude and number of things that have made what it is today. On this auspicious day, the journey continues with intense commitment. Transformation happens here, and truth gets experienced in moment to moment, because the moment happens through your stages of ignorance, desires, and you reach to better stages of wisdom. And you know you have lived many lives and many masters and many oceans. Thank you. Thank you to our founder for helping us and giving us this healing science to make us healers. Because I do believe, I don't think you anything short of a blessing to be here. And for transforming ourselves to understand what is mission, equip our knowledges, and become unprejudiced observers. On this auspicious day of Guru Purnima, a poem that Manoj Sir wrote, which I would like to share. I don't know how Sir writes all this, but thank you, Sir. Guru, a guiding light, a trusted friend. Your wisdom shines and a beacon to transcend physician. Know thyself, a sacred quest, yet cannot be achieved by one's own behest. The observer's gaze, a necessary tool, reveals the truth that lies in the cool. Till the inner witness, our true self, ascends, the mirror reflects our Guru's lens. Candid and true, your words echo divine, shattering illusions, a path to realign, guiding us gently towards the eternal light. We follow your path, we are grateful our souls are aligned. Your teachings, a lighthouse in the stormy sea. We walk in your footsteps forever free. Thank you so much, Sir. And to my sir, NLT sir, love from Bangalore, MLDMHI. One evening you step into Bangalore and everything is not the same again. You had come with the purpose of ensuring our group creates a vision in tri-coordinate care. And you are nothing short of being what we call a Swami Vivekananda or Ramakrishna genre, who are born with a purpose to enlighten us and to walk the path of truth. It is not how long you live, sir, but how you live. And you belong to us in the League of Saints and Mahatmas. To Vishwala ma'am for teaching us how to revere our Guru and give back to the system care. She also introduced us to the NGH family, which I am a part of, which is now the HJIF, and blessed to be part of you, ma'am. And an always inspiring, smiling, the book Prakash sir gave with written, Please Follow Your Inward Journey in MICR. It's by Amat Mitra, and it has sayings. Every time you're in problem and you open it and you know there's an answer there. To the journey from Ayash to MLDMHI, thank you Kasat sir, Barwalia sir, Kishore Mehta sir, our colleagues Dr. Delna, Dr. Amrita, Dr. Deepak for helping us with the excellence of the SCR system. We are deeply grateful to each of you for showing us the path right from 1990, the family of KQHTA and the family of Hamai. And to Dr. Rudresh sir and Muni sir, we bow down in gratitude. No amount of gratitude will be enough to thank our faculty in Bombay for the undying support that they have given us. I would specifically like to share thank you, Fansalka sir, Kapse sir, Kumar sir, Goda sir, Mihir sir, Prashant sir, Bhavik sir, Sujata ma'am, Hema ma'am, Hitesh sir, Madhavi ma'am, Sunita ma'am, and Gayatri ma'am, and our visiting faculty, Vipin sir, Sunil sir, Manoj sir, Anup sir. Without your support and the Demosthenes sword on our neck, I do not think we would have evolved to where we are today. Deep felt, heartfelt gratitude. Thank you so much. To the faculty of MICR, our mindfully inward and consciously reflective journey, thank you so much for your selfless service to evolve us, train us, and guide us at every step. Special mention, Kapse sir, your ability to make us give reasons for our actions and teach us what it takes to stand the evaluation of time and the group and evolve is what the spiritual masters like Ramanashri and Adi Shankaracharya teach us in scriptures. Consciously reflecting our action is the gateway to an inward journey, as it is the only way to purify our souls and ensure it percolates into our purpose, thinking, feeling, action, result complex. Thank you to every other faculty who helped us in this inward journey. To our present team, MLDMHI Bangalore, thank you Ramdas sir for your leadership. Always grateful. Core team, Dr. Savita, Dr. Mukram, our invaluable observers and colleagues who have been with us over many years. Doctors Rama, Fani, Babita, Jaya, Smita, Vidya, Jayashri, Sheetal, Rohina, Alok, Mamta, Anita, Shweta, Sharda, Sadhvi, Amita, Anjum, Muthulakshmi, Nivedita, Preeti, Priyadarshini, and many other observers who have been trained with us. Really, you have been very invaluable to us. Team Arthandam, Winston sir, and Team Angels in my life, in my clinic, grateful and deeply blessed. To my family, my Amma and Appa for what I am today, my late in-laws for believing and helping me, for my husband because of his kindness and support, and just allowing a hypersensitive wife, lady, and whatever roles I play, just let me be. He just let me be and grow. My angels, Anu and Anjali, for all the love and support and making me a better person. My MICR friends who are with me in this journey. Dr. Tamanna for the presentation and Dr. Shama for the lovely hard drawings. To Kumar sir for always ensuring I don't lose track of my PowerPoint and presentation, and not to forget my path. Thank you so much, everybody, and deeply grateful for your kind listening. Thank you so much. If I have missed anybody, please forgive me. I think there's a gap between this PPT and that PPT. Thank you, Prashant sir, Dr. Madhvi ma'am, for all your help and blessings. Thank you so much. Dr. Bhavik sir, thank you. And please forgive if I have missed anyone. It was unintentional.
congratulations, Latha, for demonstrating us what a competent homeopath is expected to be. And Latha has shared the journey of being a competent homeopath, and she has demonstrated through her work and her presentation of the cases how she has evolved. She also, and it was wonderful that you shared your failures as well as your successes. That is the most important part, because that is a part of a physician's journey. So I think I would like to give you a presentation. This was Latha's individual travel as a physician. But why and how of this system? What we would like to, in my presentation, we would be revisiting Hahnemannian teachings. What are Hahnemannian's expectations of a competent homeopath? And in what way our ICR or SCR system has tried to operationalize it, and what experiences we have gone through, or what difficulties we have gone through in trying to operationalize it in the current times. That would be the focus of my presentation. And as Sir had said in the morning, today is an auspicious occasion where we are also having the birth anniversaries and the Guru Purnima day. So I would like to bow to our Gurus who have shown us this path, and we have been attempting to follow this path and in the journey trying to rediscover ourselves. This is what Sir said. ICR delivers Hahnemann. Is it relevant today? Or do we recognize that? Next. I think everybody here present is an ICR, right? And everybody has been touched by some aspect of the teachings of Sir. At least I have not personally seen MLD Sir or experienced him in person. But he has been available to us through his work, through his literature. What we have seen ICR is through the eyes of Kumar Sir, SKP Sir, NLT Sir. They have been our Gurus, and we have seen MLD Sir through them. So today is the occasion to review, to reflect, and to see what experiences we have passed through in this process, and how this system has evolved, and what is the connection of this system to Hahnemannian teachings, and what the system does to the individual. Next. So I think this is my plan of presentation. What is homeopathy today? What are Hahnemann's views on being a competent homeopathic physician? How the principles of ICR training are designed so that it can realize the Hahnemannian vision. What is the relationship between organon and SCR system? Because this is the question, or this is a conflict we everybody face when we are thrown in the SCR system. And when we realize the need to change, to relaunch, I think what currently we are passing through, the post-COVID times, the experience which we have undergone when our ICR training course almost in the COVID times, and also the times when the MD course started flourishing, we had lack of students as well. So how to become relevant in today's time? And subsequently, the experiences of the new program, the future plans that I'm going to share with you. Next. I think all are aware that homeopathy today has a following of approximately 8 to 10% in India. But there is a tremendous growth potential in terms of the popularity which homeopathy is gaining. And at the same time, we have almost 12,000 homeopathic graduates added every year. And where are they all going? Whether they are becoming a part of the mainstream homeopathy who contribute in this. We also have the branded homeopathy nowadays, computerized homeopathy, branding of systems, branding of schools, seminars proclaiming single dose, rare cures, students attending in thousands, applauding practice. We say even after 5.5 years plus 3 years of MD, we see after MD also homeopaths not practicing but going to other pastures which are more financially rewarding, fields of other clinical research or fields of insurance, banking, wants us to be. To focus, to concentrate, ability to describe accurately, come out of ourselves. Latha demonstrated how to come out of ourselves. Suspend our poetic fancies. Anyway, we had the experience of it also. And suspend our interpretations. Next. And this is the most important. Nobody of us is born with this. This is what Hahnemann is saying. Nobody, and we also have experience, nobody has the innate sensitivity and the sensibility. It has to be nurtured, it has to be trained and regulated by I think the most important, exercising severe criticism. This is what we have experienced. I can share that personally, I have walked out of the session when confronted by Tiwari sir. I was presenting a case when I was a student. It was a very dynamic case. I couldn't stand what Tiwari sir was talking about the observer. I was the observer in the case. And I had left the session. And the session was abandoned that day. And I had cried after that. And after that, in the evening, again, I sat with Tiwari sir. And then, again, we resumed the session next week. So that is the experience when we are criticized by others. But this system will teach you how to reflect on yourself, criticize yourself and change. And to evolve the calmness and firmness of judgment. Sunita, this is the change. The change in... Next. Next. Oh, yeah. I think Hahnemann taught us how to do it. Also, Hahnemann had given suggestions. It was good that I could again read the Medical Observer. A physician should read the writings of philosophy to train his thinking and feeling. Lot of books of philosophy are available now. Appropriateness and simplicity of expressing our sensations. Knowledge of mathematics to evolve judgment and logic. I think mathematics is not a part of our PCB, training of a doctor. But this is what was suggested by Hahnemann. And logic becomes a very important part when we are doing analysis and evaluation of a case. And the most important, the mission is, we should value human life. And we should think we are preservers of human life. If we work with that mission, then we are able to help any patient. Then our objective is clear. And drug proving, we hardly do. Hahnemann has suggested drug proving to know your sensations, to know your patients, what your patients report to you. But I think nobody of present here might be having experience of drug proving. We never practice. Hahnemann suggested us methods from the books, but these are the two people who taught us that patients are our books. I think ICR is the only institution or only way of practice where the classroom becomes the clinical room and the clinical room becomes the classroom. So my tribute to these two teachers. And putting observer in the center. Putting observer in the center to share the experience, to deliver the experience to both the participants and to the physician and to the consultant. So that it can create a learning circumstance to identify our prejudices. This all we experience in our day-to-day clinical sessions, in our group sessions, in our symposia. And I think maintenance of unprejudiced state is the most important thing. You cannot say that now I have become unprejudiced or now I have passed SCR exam, I have passed MICR exam, so I don't need this further training now. Certificate is not the final. The state has to be maintained. And the state can only be maintained when you play your roles further. I think what Latha has been doing, she has further institutionalizing what she has learned. And when we share and when we give, we gain. This is the experience of the ICR learning groups. It is a process of change. It is a process of growth. It is a process of pain and pleasure. And we change and also we change our surroundings. So what are the demands put on the ICR rights or the ICR system? Next. We all know practice is uncertain. And everybody seeks certainty in uncertainty. So how to achieve certainty in uncertainty? So we should have some system. Unless there is a system, we cannot guarantee some level of certainty. And the system can only evolve when there is a integration in philosophy and practice. So a system which can give integrity at both these levels only can deliver certainty in uncertainty. So we'll now try to understand what is the philosophy behind the SCR system, what is the relationship between organon and SCR system, and what are the difficulties we encounter when we try experience in our day-to-day training. These are our three tools: the philosophy, the repertory, and the materia medica. Now, when we say ICR is perfection in practice, or SCR is perfection in practice, we all have passed through these responses of fight and flight with the SCR system. There is nobody here who has not passed through this experience of fighting with the SCR. Why do you fill up these 106 pages? What is the relevance of it? It is time consuming. Even if you take the case for 1 hour or 2 hours, filling SCR may take 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months. Huh? Or if at all, if we try to fill up it. So it is better to run away from it. So we have a choice. Either to reject, or if a few are there who would accept the system, to adopt to it. what are the difficulties of practice? I think what our systems do is, it helps to anchor our observations. It allows us to experiment with our thinking and feeling processes. It will discipline our operations. And when we do this, this will culminate into the certification of the SCR, and what Latha shared was MICR. I can recall you when when we started, Anup is not here today. Anup, later on, when initially myself and Amit Daftari and Rajesh Bhogle, we started going to Kolhapur in 1990s. 2001 was the first seminar there. And we remember in that seminar there were 5 speakers. And actually Kumar sir was invited. But Kumar sir introduced myself, Bipin, Rajesh. And that seminar was attended by 400 students in 2001. And after Kumar sir's presentation, in the lunch time, Kumar sir's presentation was pre-lunch, and our presentations were after that. Everybody was during lunch asking who. Why I am telling you this is, subsequently, that time we were not aware what is training and all, and then the Kolhapur group was formed. And sir asked us, you have to go and conduct SCR training there. Nobody was using the SCR. The entire group of students, they were all doing general practice and a stray homeopathic practice on paper. So how to orient them? That was the first step of learning. How to put their experience, raw experiences, but they had wonderful results. There was no doubt about the results. How to put that raw experience in the SCR system, and then how to conduct the session. They were the first teething experiences which I underwent when I tried to understand the evolution of SCR system from organon. What is the connection between them? And how the SCR system was evolved. And this is what I could gather now. Of course, the subsequent training in MD and teaching in MD, the connections which could be developed, because during our MD training, the difficulty was the teachers used to come, I think Kapse sir can vibrate at this level, and they used to ask our students basic questions from the organon text, and our students were at loss. You people are saying you are having a system, you are having an SCR system, you teach your students practice this, but they don't know this. So when I was trying to prepare this presentation, this connection dawned on me. When you see, this is an exact replica of what we are doing in our operational manual. And the new operational manual has been delayed a lot, but this is what I am trying to introduce in the new operational manual, the connection between organon and the various tools which we are practicing. Who is the patient? The definition of patient which is there in, I think, 4th or 5th page of the introduction. Who is the physician? The text which I shared you about the medical observer, aphorisms 3 and 4. What are the concepts of health, disease and cure? What are there in our textbook chapter? the psychobiological model. So these are the connections which we are trying to develop so that the students get a first-hand experience of the relationship between the classical homeopathic philosophy and the SCR system, what we are practicing. So it can go so on and so forth. We can have an entire workshop on this basis. Next. So professional competence is, now we will travel further. We try to understand the relationship between organon and the SCR system. Now what is the meaning of professional competence and how professional competence is examined? And this can only be evaluated when we have authentic records. How we are going to examine our actions, the validity of our actions, the relevance of our actions, and the value of our actions in terms of further contribution to the science. I think our actions are a result of our knowledges and experiences and our philosophy of life and way of living. Next. I think the knowledges are available in the book. We all know these are the knowledges which a physician should possess. But what we do with our knowledge? Are we able to identify which knowledge is essential for a particular operation? How I am able to correlate the knowledge? How I am able to apply it? How I am able to abstract from the knowledge? And then how I am able to structurally represent it? I think this is what Latha shared in her process of traveling from the SCR to the MICR. I think in clinical practice, we may only stop at applications. But further, when you want to exploit the educational potential of your particular action, you should have the ability to conceptualize, abstract it, and ability to disseminate it in proper words and in proper language. And it would be possible to practice tri-coordinate care only when you are able to pass through these processes of identifying, applying, correlating, abstracting, and disseminating. Of all, the patient, the learner, and the knowledge on the basis of our principles of first, all the 6 aphorisms. Next. I think this is what is the structure of SCR. And at every juncture, see right from recording to analysis to your various actions and then identifying the deviation. So this is what our SCR system is, which is based on the principles of organon and these challenges which we as educationists would experience when we have to understand the educational potential. हर बार आता है कि ये केस के बाद अभी इसको प्रेजेंट कैसे करने का, क्या इसका वैल्यू क्या है ग्रुप के लिए. As a supervisor, we can only understand the value when we know this background of the system. Next. So we have a system, we have a structure, but how the system will be functional? A car cannot run without a driver. We can have an excellent system, but who will run it? And to run a system, we require persons. And the individual has to play roles. And this is what we have been taught in our regular group sessions. We are severely missing that type of group sessions now in our formal training. And further, the dwindling numbers in person. These roles are there now only in the books or our ICR literature. Experientially, these roles, they take a lot of time, energy, mental and physical. I don't know whether the current last 5-10 years we have been actively practicing this unless we are in the symposiums. None of the groups, only I think the Bangalore group to some extent is doing that now, and Kolhapur. But I think Mumbai, we never had that type of group dwindled over a period of time. And each role of being a primary physician, it has a responsibility. What is the do's and don'ts of each role are also very clearly stated in our literature. But as we transit the roles from to the observer, to the supervisor and to the consultant, the function changes, the outcome changes, and the qualities required to do that also changes. So when you become a supervisor, you already are a physician, you already are an observer, but you should have the capacity to guide self and others. And when you are a consultant, it is much more than that. You are to be aware of the mental processes and actions which all the three persons are going through: the patient, your physician, your supervisor, and yourself. And this is the point of where your MICR training will help you. So this is the history. This was our history of what we have been doing over the years, last more than 30 years. And this is what was evolved over the last 50 years by 3 generations of the ICRites. But what is the present? What happened after COVID? We were struggling. Everybody was asking कि ICR program कभी चालू हो रहा है, कब चालू कर रहे हैं? क्वेश्चन आते थे क्यों चालू करने का, किसके लिए चालू करने का, स्टूडेंट्स कहाँ है, कैसे कंडक्ट करेंगे. And also we had evolved because we had got involved in many other things. फिर we were nostalgic. अरे ICR में थे तभी ऐसा होता था, वैसे होता था, है ना क्षमा? पालघर में ऐसे हो रहा है, MD में ऐसे होता है, MD ट्रेनिंग ऐसा हो गया. And we had also gone into an inertia. जो चल रहा है वो चल रहा है. So these were the questions from our traditional methods, what our sirs taught. Should we change our approach and methods? If so, who will do it to do it? Where do we remain constant? And what helps us to decide this making process? These were the questions which we all were grappling with. I used to have a lot of info. Manoj, Kapse sir. I don't know, retiring me from the college was blessing in disguise. That really helped me to revisit this. And this was my original liking. So it gave me an opportunity again to reflect. And these were the challenges which I could put down when I was asked to make this presentation. Person and personnel. What was my inertia in it? I was searching who is there to be with me. Because this process takes a lot of time. This process demands time. It is not only the clinical time, but time apart from that. Hey, don't go. And it is not only an individual can do this. Because we have seen that there was a team which was doing this. So we were searching of a team also who could be a part of this process. And of course the organizational support. Because the organization also was involved in many other priorities. Lot of other statutory demands were there. People were busy, faculty was busy. The other issue was there has been no funding for educational activities. We could raise donations for our clinical services, for community services. Because restarting something required money, material, and space. Space also was material also was important. The times have changed. Where to find the space in Mumbai? Investment in Mumbai. We discussed many options, from where to conduct the program, how to create a new infrastructure. I'll come to the next two later on about knowledge publications. I'm not going to address to that right now, but these are the further extensions of what we are doing, because what literature we had was earlier, which was written 25, 30 years ago. The new generation, we found operational manual underwent revisions, but still we find that we are not able to reach to the student level, the language, the presentation. Our publications are not easily digestible by the students. And the further extension of it into digitalization. Even our SCR digitalization process has undergone a prolonged hiatus now. Next. So this is the team. I will talk about the persons first. Then we will share you the experience of what the new program is, and then what is the future. So this is our current team, and this is the studio which we created. We could overcome the hurdle of money, material, with kind donations from the ICR faculty, and also contribution of few of our patients who could realize the. This is a soundproof room where we have got two screens. I have given you both the views, the presenter's view and the audience view. Next. This is the session in progress. Currently, this program, we have got 9 students and the faculty. At least with technology, we have been able to overcome the hurdles of distance and time. I think that that will be available through what Jagruti has been experiencing. Jagruti has been a very asset to our program. And we have participants from across. Latha has been participating from Bangalore regularly. Ajay and Umesh have been sporadic because we don't have students right now from Pune and Kolhapur. But others have been regular from Baroda, Mumbai, Bangalore. Next. I think this is the program which we are currently running. Next. What is the difference in the earlier program and this program? The earlier program which we as students experienced was an unstructured program. We used to take the case in the morning, and afternoon Tiwari sir used to make a stand in front of the group. The admissions were any time of the year, any time anybody can board the bus. हाथ दाखवा आणि बस थांबा तसं होतं ते. Our earlier ICR training. So now at least we could structure it. Bipin sir helped me a lot in organizing this. I think his experience of CBME helped. So this is a more structured program where we have definite allotted sessions, what content we are going to cover, what are the teaching tools we are using, what are the assignments the students will be doing. We are keeping all records of it. Dr. Bhairavi has been instrumental in maintaining all these records and creating a ICR classroom now. So all the material from day one is available, right, from what we have done, what we have executed, what is the outcome of it, everybody's workings are there. So we could organize this program in a better way, this time with the help of technology. So technology has helped us in that way. Next. So now, what experiences? We have completed 11 sessions, no? So almost 3 months of program is already in, and these are certain experiences of our students who were asked day before yesterday, just told ki, please share your experience of last 3 months, that's all. They were given no other brief.
From Vadodara, and I've joined this ICR hybrid post-graduation training. I've been associated with ICR before the times of my internship, and as soon as I learned that this program is introduced, I without a flinch agreed and have joined this. We started our journey from 10th grade, and it has been around 11 sessions since then. It is an amazing group of people, the dynamic group of people, or senior learners, and they all have given personal attention to all our queries, have guided us through, and the course is designed in such a way that we have clinical postings as well, where we are personally attended, where we can see cases and are guided by our supervisors and mentors. Since then, it has been such an amazing journey that we are learning, we are unlearning, we are relearning, and we keep learning, and we still continue to do so. So I would say thank you to the ICR fraternity and everyone who has introduced this course to us. And it was my dream to learn from all these people, and it has come true. So thank you so much for introducing it. It has been an amazing journey till now. And furthermore, again, so looking forward to learn more and more, to keep learning, and that's it. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shailaja Seth, Associate Professor at Srimati Malini Kishore Sanghvi Homoeopathic Medical College, Belgium, Gujarat, a teacher by profession and a learner by passion. I joined my ICR hybrid course in May 2024. It's been 3 months that we are learning and exploring a whole new perspective of clinical practice through clinical discussions that we are having on every Fridays through online sessions, where all the participants from different regions of India, they are participating and learning in online platform, which is very practical and very easy to enroll for anybody else and to make themselves available into that particular time of period with very much explainable and interesting discussions that is happening into the Friday sessions. Either we talk about the discussions that is been contributed by mainly SDB sir or Gayatri ma'am or Jagruti ma'am or Latha ma'am or even MKP sir. All are contributing to their level and
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Dhawale and I joined the institute as a student in 1987 and it was a non-digital training program. Recently I have joined as a part of the faculty member for this HPGA digital training program. And I felt differences in both the experiences which I like to share with all. In the current program, we use an online platform for distributing the cases for the discussion, submitting the workings, keeping the meetings, and writing the reports. And this saves a lot of time and energy, as everything can be done just by sitting in the clinic. Whereas in previous program, we had to rush from our clinical postings, travel long distances and reach Girgaon and take out the copies of the cases for the discussion and submit to the guide. This used to take away the lot of time and energy. Second thing, even in the current program, the members from different part of the nations have joined this. Whereas earlier, only the Bombay-based students were able to join. Third thing, we are missing the personal touch in current meeting due to the online discipline. As previously, we used to meet and discuss one-to-one and share our experience at the personal level. And fourth thing, I have met my old colleagues, Dr. Gayatri and Dr. Sunil, and we have started working together to conduct this program. In doing that, I am also learning, updating my concepts and applying to the practice.
Hi, I'm Sanjeev. I completed my graduation from YMT HMC last year. When I first joined this course, I was lost. I did not know how to approach to a patient and how to find a remedy was very difficult. Now, in these 3 months, I am learning homeopathic principles in a more structured and planned way. Also, not only homeopathy, but I am learning valuable life lessons from all my guides, Kumar sir, Sunil sir, Gayatri ma'am, Manoj sir. Everyone is very helpful. My journey from directionless to empowerment as a homeopath and becoming a better person.
I think we had the sharing of 2 of our students and also of our faculty. Till now, the experience has been definitely positive. We have been able to, of course, the personal touch is challenging issue, but apart from that, technology has definitely helped us. And we would further like to extend this experience of enrolling new students to the ICR alumni. Next. We plan to conduct a SCR workshop now in August end, and after the post-SCR workshop, we will have then ICR alumni sessions on the similar lines every Wednesday to be conducted from Malad. I would invite all the ICR senior faculty who are in Mumbai or anywhere else to join this, because this will be training session for all the alumni for their further training in the SCR system and the MICR process. We have a definite membership fee for it. All who would like to enroll would have to pay the membership fee. So we'll have every Wednesday sessions, which will start from September onwards. Next. I think these are the lessons which I could derive from the experience. This allows us definitely to share our experiences effectively. And ICR enables one to discover the hidden potential by creating opportunities to function in various roles. And experience of tri-coordinate care and the processes of evaluation in education and training permits us to change, to rectify, and to grow. This has been an educative experience for me in terms of team building and widening the horizons. In continuing the institutional vision, I think the recent faculty workshops which we had post-COVID has definitely helped in organizing oneself better to realize the institutional vision and further develop training programs. Next. Next. All we need. We should have ability to analyze our experiences, capacity to synthesize, and develop a sense of responsibility to seek the truth. I think this is what SCR system teaches us. And our education can only be complete when we evolve responsibility, freedom, and discipline in an experiential way. Thank you very much.
So very good afternoon. And very happy and all of us. We witnessed from morning that how Hahnemannian teaching through meditation, the sir has put down a system to operationalize it and train a competent physician. Hahnemann, when we look at the organon, what is organon? Is it a textbook? Is it a philosophy? If I put it in a nutshell, it is a case concept form. It's a final conceptual derivations which he derived through practice. And all those concepts and the learning and directions, they tells us that what needs to be operationalized. Because there are concepts. How to bring them on a floor, practice it, and make a competent physician. Does a competency evolve in a day? It needs a practice. Does a practice in isolation evolve you and make a competent physician? Can, but time is a victim. How do we go about a training of a physician to competency? And I think the morning presentation demonstrated the journey of a physician, a journey of a sensitivity. How do we refine sensitivity? Can we refine sensitivity alone? Can be. But the time is again a victim. Do we need a system? Yes, we need a system. If we have a system, do we need to observe and be with the operationalization? Yes. So Dr. Latha has demonstrated a system and journey through system which address to sensitivity. We all have different sensitivities. Can I refine a sensitivity without interacting with other sensitivity? Difficult. So now you can understand how the whole operationalization of Hahnemannian teaching and need to form a competent physician is systematized and put into operations through different experiments by Dr. ML sir. Now that is what is being gifted to us, a ready-made. Can you understand a level of competency? It's a small word of a sir who not only conceptualized, operationalized, experimented, and produced a lot of competent physicians. So the whole Latha's presentation of sensitivity, refining, evolving sensibilities through different experiences, connecting with the life and living. Does anyone has this system beside ICR? I doubt. And if they have, do have evaluation system? No. Now the whole process of evaluation of SCR to MICR revolves around the evolution of a physician. and we could witness the whole journey in the morning. It was an interesting experience that how each case opens up a different part of yourself. Individual and a group helps you in creating insight and healing. A journey continues. So this journey, which we witnessed, later on Sunil sir trying to, and I think that the morning presentations of both them have given us an insight that what he needs of us to gain competency. Not just treating, but creating documents, creating evidence, further conceptualizing, so that we also give something back to this fraternity. The students, the newer entrant, get something ready to march further. So when we are talking of research, so this is our journey, and that is why the original name was ICR, Institute of Clinical Research. Probably now we have gone into institute where research is missing, and research was every day. The whole perspective from which the Dr. Latha has presented, each case was a research. Researching oneself, researching system, researching processes, researching outcome, and evaluating and conceptualization. I thought morning was beautiful. Sunil sir tried to connect to the system and practice. So, I summarize this whole journey now, and I hope that we all are able to connect to Organon and ICR system through its literature, understand case concept form, and through exposition, probably we will be able to reflect and apply further. So system is made to evolve, system is not made to burden. The whole training program addresses to the evolution of physician, its capacities, from analytical perspective, from synthetic perspective, from abstract perspective, and integrations. So the training program is not burdening, SCR is not repetitive, MICR is not difficult, provided you address to the concepts which you have applied in a case and be honest with yourself. And one last comment. Sunil sir, what contribution I did in your course formation is not because of CBDC. It was what I had experience of ICR, I could create CBDC. So thank you.
I just wanted to announce to all the alumni that they would have a registration for the sessions which Sir just mentioned about that are starting in September. So whoever wants to go ahead with that can enroll on the through the form. Thank you.
So after the whole journey of morning and experience sharing and conceptualization what Dr. Latha has come, the whole board of examiners of MICR has decided to confer the membership to Dr. Latha. And I was one of the witnesses of her journey. I can tell you it was not easy to transform and metamorphose someone. So because it's many years I have been interacting with her, not in Mumbai, but at Bengaluru. I have known the amount of pain individually, circumstantially, to evolve oneself, to address to all adversities, stand by itself, continue the journey, be with commitment. It's not that support is given I always feel that it's not important that who gives support and how much one gives support. It is important that am I ready to receive support? That is very, very important in one's evolution. And I think she has mastered everything. This epitome, I invite her to the stage to receive her membership. I call upon stage Kumar sir, Sunil sir. And this is a new beginning of a Bangalore branch. And I hope she will take this forward and evolve much beyond this. Thank you, Latha.
So good afternoon, everyone. I struggle with what am I doing here. I am not MICR qualified. Neither am I anywhere close or will ever be ever close. I am managing MICRs. I think it was a couple of months back when Kumar sent me an email which had, I think I'm using the right word, dissertation or article of Latha. And he said, read that. So I did go through it. Everything went over my head. But only 2 words remained, which was sensitivity and sensibility. And I have been using these 2 words in my conversations and in training program extensively, Latha. Okay, because they appeal to me, they appeal to my normal common sense approach. And I think it is a very important element of who we are, right? So I'm going to link back to a principle which has impacted me for last 20, 25 years, which was written by Dr. Stephen Covey. And he says the basic principle of being effective is understanding that every action has a reaction, and the choice of reaction is what I decide. It's something which I take charge of, and I decide how will I respond. And so therefore it doesn't become a reaction, it becomes a response. And the second element he talked about was the principle, he calls it the principle, is that we have many concerns in our life, right? There's a circle of concern, and our ability to make a difference or influence is very limited. But if I take a choice and say, this is how I'm going to respond, I start operating from element of influence, right? I become aware and I decide how do I tackle this problem, how do I deal with this issue, so it becomes influence. And yes, I read the cases, I read the different perspectives, and when I was reading, hearing you, everything made sense. When I read the article, nothing made sense. But hearing you, you simplified the presentation, and it was so beautiful for a lay person. I think Manoj asked me, कुछ समझ रहा है क्या? मैं बोली बहुत कुछ समझ रहा है. क्या नहीं समझ रहा था the totality and what medicine you are giving, but the element of how we operate from our own biases, right, is so very true in everything what we do. And how do we therefore relate to another person is again something which I could relate to very, very clearly. So this is how I have used the words that you have used, sensibility and sensitivity, in my workshops and conversations. And I was telling this to Kumar also the other day when we were discussing something, that when we focus too highly on sensitivity and don't focus on sensibility, what happens is we just, and we lose balance. Focusing high on sensibility, we become too logical and data-driven, or maybe perhaps we lose our sight. So like in law, they have the tarazu. Sensibility and sensitivity is something which we need to keep balancing on to think about what we are doing and how are we doing. So great learning experience for me. And just taking on from Dr. Kumar when he talked about Kafka and his story of metamorphosis, I love another story of his, which is a very simple story that he was, and which is real life. He was going in a garden and he saw a small 6-year-old girl crying. He asked her what happened. She said, I have lost my doll. So he said, okay. Next day he goes with a letter to her, and he says, your doll has gone, and she has written a letter to you from her travels. And I believe that communication with the little girl continues for a long time. And then one day he gets her another doll, and he tells her that because of the travel that she's done, she's changed as a person. And here is she. And this whole thing was discovered much after his death and everything else. I find that story very inspiring, and it relates to your concept of sensibility, and in the sense he didn't go and get her the same doll. He didn't use his brain to say, replace kar denge. But I think he made her a lot more emotionally resilient to a loss and to the fact that there is life ahead of it. And that for me was the balance. So I learned a lot that I can't read a, I can't read a medical article. I can't read it. Perhaps I can hear it and have some understanding of it, but I can't read it. And I wrote to Kumar, मेरे को doctor मत बनाओ, मेरे को नहीं बनेगा. But the journey of, listening to what you've written and understanding how powerful it is was great. So I hope all of you have also learned, enjoyed on a rainy day. So thank you so much.
Latha, journey doesn't stop at MICR. I call it Arangetram of classical dance performance. We do Arangetram and our teacher listens to us and they certify you to become now a teacher, to now start an institution on your own. And this journey is witnessed by me in someone who's very, very beautiful. She was a very ordinary student like me and many of us. She joined ICR sometime, like many of us, reluctantly at 1988. Because of influence of husband, she was married. And she joins it, takes training under Dr. MLDO's very ardent disciple, Dr. B.P. Kothari, travels in her journey, takes up responsibility as time passes, hospital and college. She was also instrumental in starting charitable clinic at HECT, Baroda. She was also instrumental in number of things developed in campus of MKSH. She played very important role in training and education of HECT. And very interesting journey starts now. CSR responsibility comes of Lipoid, and her pediatric department shows a spark of excellence. She developed cerebral palsy through patient initiative. A patient came and taught that yes, you can. And you pick up, if you are alert there in the campus, looking at things, and you know what is potential of homeopathy. She became head of the department of community work, and by that time, by 2013, she completed her MICR. The very interesting journey MICR, post-MICR is very important, is to take responsibility with your inner initiatives. Build a team from grassroots to the consultant, to the neurophysician. And things don't stop there. An invitation comes from out of campus. And from Kutch, we got an invitation. A blind people running cerebral palsy center. They were going through doldrum. Even institute directors have gone, felt probably we can't do anything here. But she was one who persisted. This is must and this is doable. She convinces director back again and starts a very beautiful center in Kutch. Why I'm telling you this story, it reminds me of 36th Chamber of Shaolin. The director is born within you. And this director is none other than Dr. Hema Parikh. Please come here. We welcome you. The directors are born. They are not just the appointment. And I request Dr. Kumar sir, I request Dr. Mihir, Hitesh, Dr. Ami, Dr. Gayatri, please come on a stage. Dr. Bipin, Dr. Anup, who are visiting and training all of the team at MKSH campus. And Latha, Baroda journey has gone through all the up and down which Bangalore is also going through, because I'm witness to both the places. And we look forward that we take up role model from Hema and team to see that we build similar center at Bangalore. So Hema, on this auspicious day of Guru Purnima, from the hands of Dr. Kumar Dhawale, you are the Director of Community Health Services of MKSH campus. And this is just the beginning of new beginning of chapter of your life. Go. The long celebrations will go on and on. So thank you very much. Sir, if you can have one word.
I think what Manoj said was something so true. Mind you, nowadays Germans are not pro-homeopathy. They are not. But they are pro-humanity. And I think there Hema impressed them tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
How do I start? A very auspicious day. Sir already said this is Triveni Sangam, where it is Guru Purnima, MLD Sir's birth anniversary and foundation day. I would add one more aspect in that today is our engagement
anniversary, which is 38th engagement anniversary. And I think I can't gift anything more than this to Mihir, who has always helped grow and always motivated me to work, always. So thank you, Mihir, on this day. Along with that, I would say the journey, what Dr. Manoj said, that I was really reluctant to join ICR because I wasn't prone to hard work then. I didn't want to work so much, and I had a lot of fear, so he really had to convince that this is something which can help us. And that's how I joined. And engagement, marriage, and marriage with ICR all came together, and I say that we live a life ICR way. The life what we live has been taught by ICR methodology and ICR foundation and no one else. And the contribution is of all the gurus, all the friends. We don't like mingling with others than what we are here, and this is the best place, best time that we send always. All symposium always has been celebration for us. So thank you. I had written so many things, but I don't think I need to talk about that. I will only talk that thank you, sir, and thank you all the directors for trusting me, and I ensure you that I will take this responsibility in a better and better and better way. It has not finished, it has just begun. And I remember Dr. Srivas, who came for NABH inspection, and his statement was that we have not here come to inspect like hospital, we have come here to inspect ICR hospital. So we don't want to check routine things because that is going to be in the place, but what is that you have different? I want to see that. He may have given some answers, that's okay, but he, and I think I would like to add that today, sir, this day, both the NABH accessors have added in the scope of our institute community health services. And he mentioned that this is the first of its kind in all the hospital where the scope of community services has been added. So, and this is the day. So thank you, sir, again. And I don't have words, but two things I would like to share. Woods are lovely, dark and deep. I have promises to sleep. Before I'm just done. Okay. I think it's understood, and last two lines. In my mind today that there is always someone who comes up in our life and shows the path. And I would say MLD sir, I have not been fortunate to meet him. And Kumar sir, SKP sir, Tiwari sir, I would like to dedicate 2 lines for all my teachers whom I have not, and Kothari sir. And I would like all of you to sing with me. एक दिन आप यूं हमको मिल जाएंगे, फूल ही फूल राहों में खिल जा, मैंने सोचा न था एक दिन जिंदगी इतनी होगी हंसी, झूमेगा आसमां, गाएगी ये ज़मीं, मैंने सोचा न था, मैंने सोचा न था, मैंने सोचा न था.
Within us, there are brilliant people. We do recognize, people do recognize outside, but I couldn't resist. Anand Kapse, sir's work, his dedication to Palghar, all of us have witnessed the way he is involved today where Palghar is and the lineage which Prashant sir has taken up from Anand. Anand sir has created wonderful background for Palghar to lift to different level. And in last 2 days, which we have witnessed by oncology team which has visited, they were so much impressed with the Bhopoli and Palghar that they said at once we are joining you for palliative care. All credit goes, and someone from outside also witnesses this. Anand sir received a very, very prestigious award of Nana Palkar Samiti, and I think he deserves a small token of flower from us. Sir, Kumar sir. Thank you, Anand. Take ahead from this point.
Thank you. Thank you, Kumar sir. Thank you, Manoj. Firstly, congratulations to Latha and for birth of a new branch. And I'm particularly happy because of the growing female participation in ICR. When this award was given to me, I had circulated the clip, a small clip, but the first minute was not recorded. So I started my speech that time saying, getting this award means now I have crossed 60 officially. And why I'm mentioning, today we have a more or less full house of MICRs. All are either crossed or, and Palghar is now in this Silver Jubilee year. Compared to when we met last symposium, a few major developments took place. Ground plus 2. Hostel already is complete. So this nears the completion of phase 2 of whatever project we envisioned at Palghar. And now, in creating this now, most of us who were the original members are now 60 or 60 plus. Maybe we have a few more years in our hands to consolidate what has been created. We had been discussing these aspects. The infrastructure is now more or less ready and which can last 100 years. But all these years have always been full of financial difficulties and which continue even today. Other two important points we have realized is that because of these financial difficulties, people who otherwise would be able to commit longer time or residential status, we don't have enough resources to pay them. Third thing is that our research has always been wanting funds, and we have not been able to get research funding for homeopathic projects to the extent we need them. So these are some of the felt needs of this setup. And this year we started giving scholarships and interest-free loans to our MD students. And this year we distributed almost 0.5 lakhs. So we interviewed almost 40 students, I think. So there are needs of the students who come to us with various kinds of financial difficulties. This also became, we became aware of that. Considering all these experiences, the trust wants to create funds for homeopathy. And that may, we have created the infrastructure, we have the SCR system. We need to back it up with a certain capital, which will always ensure continuation of those activities and right people devoting their time for these activities. The total target we have set is around 11 crores. 11 crores of, call it corpus, you call it homeopathic fund, because the terminology is an issue. And I mean, I'm right now sharing because this is a group actually which has all the resources. And I was reminded that when our hospital project started at Palghar, it started on a Guru Purnima day. All of us had assembled at Girgaon. And it started by each of us giving our checks. And from that, the project started. And then we went to our family members, our patients, our relatives, our friends, and through that, the initial 1 crore got raised. The target this time is 11 crores, but compared to time, it is as big as it was to collect 1 crore then. So we need to really put our heads into this. I have suggested to some of our trust in homeopathy. Because you see, for charitable projects, we are able to get CSR project. Even for infrastructure, now, as we were discussing this, the new government regulations have come, and the community department MD is possible, dermatology MD is possible. The infrastructure needs for colleges are going to change, and we may again be looking at a sort of a 10 crore plus capital investment for infrastructure. And even the palliative center, chemotherapy, and college additional space. But some of these things may get support from corporates and individual donors. But this homeopathic fund I am talking of is something which will come only from people who have deep faith in homeopathy. And it is going to be our need for the trust to develop this tri-coordinate care, the patient care, learner care. So give a thought to all these things. We are certainly trying to organize a fundraising event somewhere in November. But in that, how to approach, I read something, I attended an international fundraising conference, and I read some literature on fundraising and how these funds are generated. And the most important insight was that it starts with core people who form a nidus, and once you reach a certain size of your fund, then approaching others makes sense. The exact way in which our hospital project started. So each of you I would hear, so I felt this is worth sharing, that give a thought how we can create this kind of homeopathy fund for the tri-coordinate care, and we can certainly meet and interact over this. As far as this particular recognition is concerned, I would like to only share two things. See, I mean, I had not realized, I am really not very much fan of all these awards and all these things. They don't mean much to me. So I had not really understood the worth of that. But when I attended that function, you know, it was a function attended by at least 2 or 3 deans of government medical colleges, head of medical oncology from Tata Memorial, few HODs of various departments in Tata Memorial, JJ. So all the bigwigs of allopathic world were there, because Nana Palkar Smriti, which is doing working for cancer patients for more than 50 years. So they have very close association with all these allopathic consultants. And both the other people who were getting the honors, one was the HOD of gynec oncology in Tata Memorial, and another was a HOD of neurosurgery in JJ. Now, for a homeopathic doctor to be felicitated in that gathering, and with all long-time supporters of Nana Palkar Smriti, that was one important point I realized. And second was that Nana Palkar has a reputation of integrity and charity. Means it's a brand name, it's a benchmark. So when that recognizes an individual from Dhawale Trust, I mean, it gives that sanction or that recognition to the work that Trust has done over all these years. So that is a very, I mean, anybody told that Nana Palkar has given the award to somebody from Dhawale Trust. So it is not an individual award. It is a recognition of all that we have done in the last 30, 40 years. So these are the two important, I mean, that is where I felt happy first. I have really not felt happy accepting rewards, but this time I felt happy. And that means that it puts that much burden also, responsibility on us to continue to do good charitable work for the community. So these are two thoughts with which I would leave you, and think about this aspect of homeopathic fund. Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming to this gathering. It was very big challenge on this very, very severe, heavy rainfall day. But respecting this day, respecting this moment, I think everyone, those who are also online, we are extremely thankful that you're patiently with us. So we are again ending with 3-3-1. Lovely. Bye.